Good morning. Welcome to day 5, Wednesday, September 14th. It's around 6:30. I set an alarm for 6. It was 32 degrees in the tent at 6. There's frost on the outside of my tent. And we're just waiting for the sun to come out. We'll get everything organized and packed up inside the tent and get it outside. But we need some sun. The good news is it looks like it's clear skies, at least on this side. Facing Whitney, I haven't looked out towards the other side just because it's too darn cold to do it. So yeah, I'm layered up this morning. Bobby, maybe you should have brought your puffy jacket on this trip if you didn't get the COVID. I don't know. For me, I'm fine. It's really got to be cold for me to have a puffy, but you may have wanted one for last night. So we're going to get things situated, and hopefully that sun's going to come out and warm things up a bit. All right, little update. It's a little after 7. We are just waiting for that sun that's starting to break over. It's in full force. If I can get the lighting right. Back where we've seen clouds for the past 2 nights, it looks clear, so that's good news. It is cold. Gloves, 3 layers. Almost went with the putting on the long pants, but I was 50-50 on that, and we're fine. But you can see yep, that's a frozen tent. That's just from the rain from the past day and a half, and then with freezing overnight. So it's going to be taking the gloves off when I break the tent down, just because I want the gloves to get soaking wet. Just have really cold hands for 10 minutes. So that's where we're at. Everything's out of the tent. I'm sure I've mentioned this probably one of my earlier, the Diartissima video when I was hiking in the spring, but I sleep with these water filters in my pocket in the sleeping bag, along with my cell phones, just because with the cell phone, the cold drains the battery, so you can have a fully charged phone. And if I just left it on the floor of the tent on a night like last night, it could go down to nothing, and then you have to power it up, put it on a battery pack, and then it'll get all the power back that it had. But it takes a while and it's a hassle. But if this thing freezes, especially since I've been using it, then it doesn't work anymore. The inside membranes freeze up and it's no good. So now that we're in September, even for here, for Colorado, just that's kind of stuff you have to do. It just as a matter of habit, I always sleep with my phones in my sleeping bag, no matter what the temperature is. It's kind of a muscle memory thing now. How long is that sun going to take to get here? I don't know. There's our friend the moon. It was really bright last night. It was clear skies, but with the full moon, you don't really get to see all the stars. This is one of the places where I distinctly remember at Shepherd Pass, seeing the Milky Way, galaxy in all of its glory. And I'm hoping maybe a few nights from now, when we're back there before we head out, if it's a clear night and the moon isn't quite as bright, we're gonna get quite a show. That's where we're at. We're gonna break down this crinkly, frosty tent and start packing up the backpack. Definitely gonna have another cup of coffee just to warm up. The hardest part about a morning like this is unzipping the sleeping bag, even to make the coffee. I set the alarm for 6, and I wasn't drinking coffee until 6:30, just because it's so hard to unzip that sleeping bag and let all that cold air in. But then, once you do it, it's fine. So that's the story. Man, this would have been a much better day view-wise to Summit Whitney, just because you're going to get all the views, but I've been up Whitney plenty of times. I've seen the great views. I've had coffee up there on the summit and chilled for a long time. So this year it was just meant to be a cloudy summit, and that's cool. It's always neat to have different experiences up there, and we got new places to go to. So we're going to say goodbye to the Whitney area shortly and go to some off-trail lakes. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Check in later.
I'm just packing up the tent, and this little family of deer walks through. There's a little fawn that's just losing its butts too.
What's up, guys? Day 5, Wednesday, September 14th. It's about 8 o'clock. It took longer to break down base camp because everything was so cold. Yeah, so probably took a half hour, 45 minutes longer just dealing with the cold. And sadly, just as we're about to leave is when the sun is going to hit and we can start delayering. But we're going to get moving, get back on the trail, and make our way back to the junction with the JMT and the PCT where they get back together and start heading back the way we came before we get off trail. So that is the update. You can see the sun is just about to come over. There it goes. Hi, sun. We've been waiting a long time for you. So that's where we were hiking yesterday to get up to Whitney, and it's just coming over the ridgeline now. And we're finally getting our first rays of sun, and it feels great. It feels great. So we're going to start moving in the sun, warm up our hands, warm up our feet, and at some point delayer. It was cold this morning, and the fly was like frozen, so just like stuffing the fly into the stuff sack, you know, your hands are just freezing cold. You don't want to put gloves on because they're just going to get wet. You gotta have dry gloves. So hello, sun. Oh man, we've been waiting 2 hours for the sun. Here it is, just in time for us to leave. So that's where we're at. It's going to be, looks like a gorgeous day up here. So we're going to get moving. What's up, guys? Day 5 update. Wednesday, September 14th. We're back down at Timberline Lake. Getting our last view of Whitney from this angle. Clear skies. We're going to stop and delayer one more layer now that we're in the sun. Put on some sunscreen, put on some lip balm, probably have a little snack, a little breakfast, get the dirt and the gravel out of our trail runners, and then keep going.
Good morning. It's a little bit before 9 a.m. on Wednesday. I've checked out of my first campsite, all packed up. And then I'll check into a new campsite for tonight. I already stopped by the village store and stocked up on ice. Now I'm gonna have a little, while it's cool, I'm gonna explore Yosemite Village a little bit. Brian and I did that a bit when we were here last time, but I just thought I'd take a little time to do that. And then the plan for today is to kind of drive out to the meadow by El Cap and kind of hang out there before I can check into my other campsite, which is going to be at noon. So just a relaxing day here today. My legs are a little bit sore from all the up and down yesterday, so I'll just take it easy today. So I'll keep you posted. So I'm just walking into Yosemite Valley, and this little guy, some antlers. just having a bite. Thankfully, there's not too many people around. We're giving them lots of space. So, and another one on the other side of the path. So I'm just walking through Yosemite Village, and there's a deer there, and then there's another one. I don't want to get too close, but another one just over here having breakfast.
Day 5 update. Now that we're in the sun, it's very nice. Hiking conditions down to one layer. There's Whitney. This is the first day we've actually had almost clear blue skies, no clouds to speak of. Can still see the moon up there. Hopefully you can see it, pretty cool. We're just gonna we had the sun to our back, so we really haven't had to put the shades on. So we're pretty much going west, back to the intersection with the PCT. And then we're gonna head back the way we came for a ways and then head off trail. So it's been a pretty quiet morning so far. Saw 2 backpackers heading in towards the lake, and that's been it. But it's early, so that's the update, and we'll check in later.
So it's about 10:30, and I just am doing a loop of the valley floor, and I pulled over by El Cap, or El Capitan, where a lot of the big wall climbers climb. So there's the whole so when I pulled over right by the car, some folks were looking at the wall, and you could see some climbers. So I could like barely see them just with my naked eye, but the folks had binoculars, so they let me look through, and I was able to see a group of, it was either 3 or 4 climbers that you could tell that were out, probably going to be overnight tonight, heading up the wall, just because of the amount of stuff they had with them. So that was pretty cool. I think Brian has the binoculars with him. But I might dig through the bag and just double check, because it could be really fun to just like sit here and kind of watch their progress during the day, like knit a little bit, so, and watch them go. So we'll see if I have the binos. If not, might see if there's, just hang out and see if there's other folks that are willing to help me see them with the binos. But yeah, so I'm just kind of relaxing. I got a breakfast sandwich and a coffee in Yosemite Village this morning, and I'm just going to try to find a good place to sit in the shade, listen to my audiobook, or some podcasts, and knit until I can go and set up my campsite. We'll check back in later.
Day 5 update. Really nice day out. We're on the PCT heading towards Wallace Creek, but we're not going to go that far. But I just happened to sit at this boulder to take a break, and there's Mount Williamson right there. Pretty cool getting it from this this view. Just sitting here on this boulder, having a little snack. So we're gonna finish up, and we'll probably have a half mile or so before we're looking to make a right off the trail and head to the lakes.
So it's just after 11. Look at that view from behind me. Just after 11, and I found the binos. I went digging in the car. There were some very nice people here that I was watching with that let me use their binos as we were watching the climbers, and then they left. And I was like, oh, let me go dig the binos. So I've spotted 2 different groups of climbers. There's a group of 3 people that are like lower down on the wall, or it looks like they're set up to like stay overnight on the wall. And then there's another climber that's like very close to the top, and he was rappelling down for a bit, but then he started going back up, or they will say, went back up. So it's kind of just like interesting to watch their progress. So I might end up like just staying here for a bit, watching their progress. But it's been really neat so far. And you can see people behind me. There's like a little viewing area, but the binoculars aren't that great, so the bit closer, so I'm just like next to the road in like a safe sidewalk area. So I'll stay here for a bit and watch them until I get too hot, because the sun's now shining down, so I can only imagine how hot it is up on the wall.
Day 5 update. It's around 11:30 or so. We're at about 11,800 feet, I think, or 10,800, one or the other. We just picked up a spot off the PCT and jumped off trail. We're basically going to be heading due east to get to the Lakes Basin. So yeah, we're going to see a bunch of unnamed lakes along the way and just try and pick our best line to head this way somewhere. Into the woods we go. So pretty much at the start of our bushwhack, it is like 10,800 feet, and hopefully you can see that little lake in the background. Looks like a little arrowhead or a triangle on the topo map, and that was our first waypoint as we keep heading deeper into the off-trail territory. So here's a better view of our unnamed Arrowhead Lake. Pretty cool. This looks super blue today. I don't imagine many people come back here. This would be a cool spot to set up camp, but I don't know, we're less than a half mile off the trail, but we still got some miles to put in, so we're gonna keep going. It's gonna be a lot of little ups and downs, I think. We gotta get up this rocky shelf, and I'm just picking trees in the distance that are kind of close to the line I want to follow. The topo map, this should be like the extent of the up and down, not too much, but with a still relatively heavy backpack, you know, you're not cruising on a trail, let's just say that. You're going up and down loose rocks, but it is so totally worth it to get views of lakes like this that not many people visit every year. So we're going to keep going. So it's a little afternoon, just to give you an idea what we're dealing with on this off trail. A lot of boulders to walk through, a lot of little ups and downs. So we got to get down this little boulder field. There's an opening, we can avoid these brambles, and then we're going to pretty much head that way to the next waypoint I made. But we're going to avoid all this nasty stuff over here. At least with a full backpack, we're going to avoid it. We may do some exploring there, who knows. But that's kind of like what it looks like when you're off trail in the Sierras. For the most part open, but lots of rocks. Day 5, around 12:30, kind of in the middle of our off-trail bushwhack, and we're just trying to stay above these marshy, grassy areas, just because they're pretty, they're marshy, and so we're trying to stay above those as best we can, and still following the line to get us to the lakes. Still got a ways to go, and it's a little slow going because kind of have to pick around things, but we're in no rush and the weather is perfect, so it's a great day to be miles from the trail. And I'd be shocked, we might see people at the lakes, but I'd be shocked if we see anyone on the way there.
So I just had to do a little update. It's about 1 o'clock and I just checked back in the campsite, setting up the tent. Everything's going well, but a slight breeze has come up, so now I can't take my hand off the tent or it will blow away. And the pegs are on the picnic table, so now I just have to wait for it to die down. Just a little joys of solo camping.
Day 5 update. So it's a little after 1 in the afternoon, and we've routed ourselves to this unnamed lake at about 11,100 feet. That peak in the background is Mount Young, if you're looking to orient on the map. And the climbing we continue. We're pretty much, if we're looking this way, like the trail, the PCT is like a half mile to a mile behind me. We've just kind of been making our own way off trail for fun. It's been such nice weather. I mean, why not? And it's really been a great off trail adventure so far. We really haven't had to deal with any bramble, any marshy areas. All the little stream crossings have, with a little looking around, are rock hoppable. So we're continuing on to our next waypoint, about a quarter mile or so away. Okay, so update, we're about 11:02. We got to go down that lake, then we got to go up that shelf, and that's going to bring us in to the big lake area. So we got some down and some up to do, which is just the way it goes. So let's get to it. So we're just taking a break before we climb on the other side of these lakes. That is Mount Carl Heller in the distance, and you can see right below it waterfall. If I can get my finger to work. Waterfall right there, feeding into these lakes. And I imagine the big lakes are feeding that waterfall, so that's cool. So we still haven't gone up the other side of that rock shelf yet. We're trying to traverse the lake or the grassy area, marshy area, without getting our trail runners wet. We're just being lazy, not wanting to change in the Crocs. So I think I can rock hop this over here and get up on the shelf over there. The most direct route will be straight up, but that looks a little steep and loose, so I'm probably going to take a more level approach. It'll be a little longer distance wise, but it'll be safer and a little easier on the elevation grade. So we haven't crossed over the other side yet, but we're getting closer. So here's a little close-up of our waterfall as we're slowly climbing on the other side of the rock shelf to get to a line where we can safely go up and get to the bigger lakes. So we've been doing a lot of back and forth, just looking for the best way to go. And we're gonna keep on rolling. What's up, guys? Day 5. Getting close to 3, I guess. About 11,300 feet. I finally cracked the code of getting into the next basin. Took some doing, and then I happened to stumble upon this little cairn here. So not sure what route that cairn is for, but it's interesting, right? I'll leave it there for now. But I'm wondering if I'll see more of them. But I think we're finally over the hump of that basin, and now hopefully the big lakes won't be too much further. What's up, guys? Day 5 update. We're getting close to 3 o'clock. Climbing another rocky shelf here. Still looking to hit those big lakes soon. And I feel like I found the trail. Yeah, I feel like this is a trail that I'm on right now. I did see those two Karens. I haven't seen it, but now I see it definitely looks like a trail, and nothing on my 2016. I didn't download. I gotta remember to download the historical USGS topo from 1930. I always forget to download it for offline viewing, but I just checked my my Garmin Oregon, and it must have an older topo map on there, and it's showing that I'm not on a trail yet, but I'm going to be approaching a trail soon. So very cool. If I can link up with a trail, it'll just make the going a little easier. The great thing about this entire bushwhack is I've pretty much been never more than 500, 600 feet away from running water or a lake. So if any point I felt like I was bonking out, I could set up camp anywhere and be set and just continue tomorrow, because I have the days in to do that. But I'm still feeling okay. I would like to really get up to the big lakes and then decide if I'm going to continue to Tulainyo. I think I was pronouncing it wrong before, Tulainyo. I think it's Tulainyo Lake, which is right under Mount Russell. Or if I just stay at one of the big lakes here and set up base camp here. We'll see what it looks like. But I'm really excited to maybe link up with an old abandoned trail. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, so look at this little stretch. This is definitely a trail. Was a trail at some point. Whew. Super cool.
I was taking a little walk around Yosemite Valley and I came across the backpackers camp. So this is somewhere that you can camp the night before or after your wilderness permit. My guess, based on the location, is a lot of people use it when they are starting or ending the John Muir Trail. So that's kind of neat.
Around 11,400 feet. We are getting close to the big lakes. I think after we get over this next rock shelf in that bowl, we're going to be seeing some sweet alpine lakes. They're around 11,000, under 12,000 feet, so getting close. All right, welcome to Wallace Lake at around 11,500 feet. There were a couple unnamed mini lakes before we hit Wallace Lake. A little further up is Wales Lake, so we're going to go a little further and just, look at all the potential camping opportunities. And I mean, the view here is pretty amazing. This will work very nicely, but you never want to pick the first one you see. Let's just see what it looks like over at Wales Lake. What's up, guys? Day 5, a little windy, so I'm in between Wallace Lake and Wales Lake. It is up over this bowl. Just wanted to take a good look around, see if there were any other campsites that looked sweeter. I think the one I left my backpack at is a good one. It's got a big boulder for shade this time of day, when I would want shade at this time of day, and also a little bit of wind block because there is some wind up here. So I think I'm going to set up there. It's definitely a hardened site that's been used before. I might just walk around the shoreline and just see if anything else looks appealing. I can see way in the distance a cool little waterfall. You may not be able to see it, but maybe you can. And right now, I don't want to jinx it. Looks like I'm the only one here. And I love that. I love being in my off-trail lakes by myself. And I'll set up base camp, and tomorrow, sorry about the hand, tomorrow I feel like I'm gonna take a day pack up to Lake-Williamson Lake, and then maybe do some peak bagging depending on how I feel and if the weather cooperates. This is good. It's a full day for the rocks to dry, which we love. The sun's been out all day. It's been great. I had to reapply sunscreen and lip balm, which I haven't had to do since I've been out here with all the rain. And even some of the backpackers I've passed, we've all been talking about, man, what a nice day it is today after Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Yeah, after 4 days of overcast and rain. Blue skies all day. It's been great. I'm looking for, well, the moon's still going to be a little less than half, so I'm not going to get the Milky Way tonight probably, but maybe at Shepherd Pass. So let me go set up base camp. Let me get out of these slightly damp trail runners. I had to go through some marshland at the very end. I was able to avoid it until like the last 45 minutes. I just gave up. And so I've got some damp trail runners. Let me get out of those, air out the feet, get the Crocs on, and it's beer time. I've got some cold hazy little IPAs from Sierra Nevada. I really haven't been drinking anything beer-wise, so I've got extra, and that's great on a day like today. Maybe a 2-beer night. It's gonna at least be a 1-beer night, and we're gonna go explore this basin and this area tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. But right now, I'm ready for rest. I'm actually curious how many miles I did today. Let me just check real quick because we can, and I want to know at some point later. It looks like right now we're at 11.25 miles, and I probably got another, I'll probably be right around 11.5 by the time I get back to base camp after I do a little more exploring here. So an 11.5 mile day, that's a pretty solid day when more than half of it, I'd say probably 2/3 of it was off trail. You work harder off trail for sure. So once I get base camp set up and get things situated, we'll check in with a frosty beer. I still got a couple slices of cold pizza left, so we're gonna down those and maybe just have a north side, or I may just have a full freeze-dried meal, cheese and pepperoni. Who knows? So many possibilities. That's the great thing about slightly overpacking your food provisions. I like having variety. I like having choices. I don't necessarily want freeze-dried tonight, but maybe. So yeah, just really taking in the whole lake, right? So we'll check in later. All right, so we're getting on 4 o'clock. Every part of my tent was soaked. So we're trying to air them out, dry them out, let the sun do its thing. Even though it's like cool up here between the wind and the sun, even if we can just get most of the moisture off, that'll be good enough. The fly still had a bunch of frost on it when I pulled it out. The frost came flying out everywhere. So even though I had it on the outside of my pack and in the sun all day, it was still frost filled. So that's how cold it was last night. It feels like it's going to be pretty much the same tonight, but at least with no rain, that'll be fine. So I just unpacked the backpack, gather water for tonight, and then by the time I'm done all that, it should be things should be dry enough to put the tent up. All right, everything's drying out pretty nicely. I'm gonna go get a bunch of water. I have not seen any marmots. That doesn't mean they're not around though. So all my food is secure in the backpack or in the bear bin, because I learned my lesson many years ago. 2014, a trip with Bobby at Shepherd Pass. I had all my food out on the rocks and just went down to pump water. Probably was gone 10, 15 minutes. That's a lot of water for 2 of us. Came back and a marmot was all in my food, my trail mix. It was, Yeah, I'm stupid. I should have known better. But that's how you learn. And I haven't made that same mistake again, and I'm not making it now. So even though I don't see any of the little buggers out here, I'm not taking any chances. So down to the water we go. So check this out. I was just heading down to the feeder stream outlet for the lake and came across this piece of wood. Looks like it may have been part of the signage at some point. I checked both sides. There's nothing on it now. Yeah, interesting, huh? I wonder what that was. So it'd be cool to explore around up here, since I'm sure it doesn't see a lot of use. I mean, I'm sure it sees some use, but only the most adventurous. So back to water patrol. Just cool to find that little piece of wood and wonder what the heck it was for. What's up? Day 5, almost 5 o'clock. Got the tent set up. Super windy, so it took a little extra effort. So I think I deserve cheers. It's definitely colder up here, but sitting in the sun, it's that nice balance of cold and warmth, where it's right now it's comfortable, but once that sun goes away, it's going to be a chilly one, I think. So tomorrow we're going to go up there somewhere, check out Wells Lake, check out Whitney-Tulainyo Lake, and maybe a peak or two. As long as the weather's like this, it'll be perfect. Another gear failure. This has been a trip of gear failures. I've got a micro, like a pinhole on the bottom here. So when I'm squeezing my filter for the sorter squeeze, it's shooting out. I'm gonna see if I can put some tenacious tape on there. It's like right at the seam. Not a huge deal. I can still use it enough to filter water. And they're relatively inexpensive, so I'll just get another one. But it's just a hassle that it happens out here in the field. But things are breaking down the strip, so that's the way it goes. We're gonna enjoy our beer, open up some cheese and pepperoni, and just enjoy the lake and enjoy the views. All right, day 5 is pretty much wrapping up. We're at Wallace Lake Base Camp, just shy of 11,500 feet. We're just about to lose the sun. It feels like it's going to be a real cold one tonight, so I'm bundling up. Just in a sleeping bag, having a cup of coffee, decaf. Gonna have a little dessert, and then gonna call it a night. It was a great day, off trail. Tomorrow, hopefully the weather will be similar to today. We can do some exploring, get higher up into the bowl, and check out some more lakes, and maybe a mountain peak or two, we'll see. So that wraps up day 5, and we'll see you in the morning. Hopefully it won't be below freezing in the tent.